What's up, everybody? I'm Jason, and this is going to be a quick one that some of you might find helpful if you're transitioning to video lighting from hot shoe flashes, and specifically if you already have invested in some hot shoe softboxes. So what I'm talking about today is using this. This is a Godox Bowens mount softbox speedring adapter, but to basically adapt hot shoe softboxes to studio LED lights. So obviously it doesn't really matter what kind of light you use, whether it's, or what you're lighting for that matter. If you want good looking light, you're probably going to have to modify it in some way to make it softer. And what I did when I was doing a lot of work with Speedlights was picked up a Lastolite, and they're now owned by Manfrotto, EasyBox Hotshoe. It's one of these kind of compact, foldable, collapsible hot shoe softboxes. Now, those weren't cheap, but the good news is you can get similar things from companies like Godox, like the one I just showed you, that cost maybe 10% of what those Lastolite ones did like 10 years ago. Now, quality's not as good, but 20 bucks versus almost 200, I can make some sacrifices on quality for that kind of thing. Anyway, these kinds of collapsible hot shoe softboxes use something like this. It's a Godox S-mount adapter, and you basically put the flash in here and you clamp the top down on it, and then this slides into the back of the softbox and then mounts everything on your light stand. And basically it uses that instead of a traditional speedring system, which is basically what studio softboxes use. So they mount to the light instead of kind of having a thing that mounts the light to them. Anyway, when I started shooting video with Aputure's LS120 LED lights, I really didn't want to go out and buy a bunch more softboxes. I mean, I did buy an Aputure Light Dome Mini, but I kind of wanted to make use of the stuff I already had because, well, I had two 2-foot softboxes, and for the kinds of things that I shoot, a 2-foot softbox is, pretty good for my purposes. And that brings me back to this, the Godox Bowens mount softbox speedring adapter for studio photography. I'll put a link to the Amazon page in the description below because the title of this is a mouthful and doesn't really describe exactly what you're looking for. So the intent of this, properly used, is part of that traditional 2-part speedring mounting system. So this part is the part that it has the bayonet for your Bowens style light mount. This goes into your light. The other part snaps into a 6-inch diameter speed ring that your softbox is mounted to, and then the whole thing can rotate while being mounted to the light. However, this is also exactly the same size and a perfect fit for the 6-inch diameter that these S-type Bowens Godox S mounts, or depending on the brand, but that these collapsible softboxes uses. So what you can do instead of putting it in a speed ring is you can just stick it in the back of the softbox where you would put the S-type adapter normally, and there you go. Collapsible softbox now has a Bowens mount that you can stick right on your video LED light. Now, the word of caution here is heat. And so far, I've tested this kind of setup with Aputure's LS120D Mark II LED lights. I've done this at full power with the softbox fully buttoned up and enclosed, run for about 30 minutes, and then went around areas testing or looking at the temperature with an IR thermometer. And when I did that, I didn't have any temperatures that were concerning to me about this whole system. That was after 30 minutes of having the thing on full blast. Measuring temperatures by the LED and metal around it, the housing, the softbox, the speed ring adapter, etc. I was getting temperatures in the mid to high 90 degrees Fahrenheit range or the high 30 degrees Celsius range. And that should be completely safe for basically all kinds of softbox fabrics. So you don't have to worry about, in the past you had to have high temperature softboxes if you were using continuous lights and stuff like that. 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit is way below the melting point of these fabrics. You know, think about it. There's places in the world where just having this outside would get the fabric hotter than that at all. So personally, I have no problem using this technique on my LS120s or something like the Aperture Amran 200D that they've come out with recently for creators. So it's a great way to get inexpensive softboxes if you're doing that kind of thing. But I can't say whether higher power lights would still be safe or would still, you know, or could get hot enough to start melting things. Also, there's something else that you should check, and this is that with many of these Hotshoe softboxes, there's a fabric baffle in the back that is basically there to contain the light and make the thing as efficient as possible. And that baffle is typically sized to fit a Speedlite. So it's maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 inches in diameter, the opening. So that works out to, I think, about like 70 to 120, 75 to 120 millimeters or something in that range. So with this these soft boxes that I've tested, so this Godox one and the Last-Delay Easy Box, and using my Aperture LS120s, the baffle gets close to the metal housing and the LED, but it doesn't touch it. And there's clearance around it. There's maybe a good, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1 centimeter, something in that range. And again, I don't see any concerning temperatures in that area at all, especially after testing at 30 minutes of full power, which is probably probably going to be steady state. Now, that said, if you're going to do this, do check that, because what you don't want to do is have the fabric of the softbox touching the LED chip or the metal directly adjacent to it, because that is going to be the hottest part potentially, and that's going to be where you could potentially melt things. And I don't think you're going to have a fire problem, but you certainly don't want to start melting things to your expensive video lights if you can avoid it. So anyway, I just wanted to put this out there as something that I found useful. Call it a hack, if you will. So, you know, as usual, if you found this useful or at least a bit interesting, let me know by smashing that like button. If this kind of thing seems like it might be your kind of thing, then please consider subscribing. Remember, you can't forget to unsubscribe later if you don't subscribe now. And also, if you know somebody who might find this interesting or useful in their work, please share it with them. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.